What's going on, guys? JSGC here, back again with another football video where today we're going to be doing my Premier League predictions ahead of matchday number 5 in the Premier League. Before I do crack on with this video, do go and check out today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by SofaScore. Remember, SofaScore are going to keep you guys up to date with all the latest football scores. They're going to keep you up to date with the latest match information, the latest team news, and so much more. Not just limited to football scores and information, it's got you guys covered for all the sports that you want to follow, all in one place, all in one app. It's a free app to download, worthwhile checking out, very highly rated, and anyone that does download using my link in the description or the QR code on screen does help to support the future content created here on my channel. So having a look at my performance across matchday number 4 in the Premier League. So we had our first games taking place on the 13th of September. Arsenal finished 3-0 against Forest. Was spot on with that. Bournemouth finished 2-1 at home against Brighton. I was spot on with that as well. Crystal Palace had them down as 2-1 winners against Sunderland at home. That finished 0-0. Good point that on the road for Sunderland. Everton, I had them down as 2-1 winners at home against Aston Villa. That finished 0-0. Aston Villa now, I think they've gone 4 games in the Premier League without scoring a goal, which must be causing some concern. I had Fulham down as 2-0 winners against Leeds. That finished 1-0. I had Newcastle down as 3-0 winners at home against Wolves. That finished 1-0 to Newcastle. And then I had West Ham Spurs. Didn't know which way to call that, so I went with a 1-1 draw. West Ham very inconsistent, been pretty poor for the most part as well. They lost 3-0 to Tottenham Hotspur, who again have been a little inconsistent, but you know, they're not doing too bad at all. And then Brentford against Chelsea, had that down as a 2-1 win for Chelsea. That finished 2-2, and a good point there in my opinion for Brentford. And then the games on Sunday, you had Burnley taking on Liverpool. I had Liverpool down as 3-0 winners. That finished 1-0 to Liverpool, thanks to I think it was a 95th minute penalty in the end, breaking the Burnley hearts. And then finally in the Manchester derby, I had City down as 2-0 winners against United. That finished 3-0, not far away. It does mean I got 2 correct scores, 4 correct results, and 4 incorrect for Premier League matchday number 4, grading myself 5 out of 10. Not too bad. So moving on to my predictions ahead of Premier League matchday number 5. First game's taking place on Saturday 20th of September 2025. We're starting off with the Merseyside derby at Anfield. You've got Liverpool taking on Everton at 12:30 PM BST, with the game being broadcast live on TNT Sports here in the UK. And I'm going with Liverpool to continue their theme so far for the season, which is the picking up results, the picking up wins, but they're not looking very convincing in doing so, and I'm going with another narrow win for Liverpool. I'm going for them to win that game by 2-1. I'd be surprised if Everton and David Moyes' men manage to do anything against Liverpool. We'll see. I think Liverpool will be too strong, going 2-1 Liverpool in that game. Now moving on to the 3 PM game, starting off on the south coast, you've got Brighton and Hove Albion taking on Tottenham Hotspur. Wasn't sure on how to call this one, so played it safe, score draw, gone 1-1. Burnley against Nottingham Forest, again struggled with this one, weren't too sure which way this was going to go, so again sat on the fence, and I'm going with another 1-1 draw. And continuing with my 1-1 draw theme takes me nicely onto the game in East London, West Ham taking on Crystal Palace. Again, West Ham inconsistent, Crystal Palace don't know what to make of them, so I'm going with another 1-1 draw. And then Wolves taking on Leeds. I do think there's going to be a winner in this one, and I think Wolves are going to be just too strong for Leeds United, so I'm going with a 2-1 win for Wolves against Leeds. And then into the evening kickoffs, starting off at 5:30 PM BST, with the game being broadcast live on Sky Sports to Old Trafford. You've got Manchester United taking on Chelsea. I think that both sides are going to cancel each other out here, and going with another 1-1 draw. You guys called it, I'm sure. And then the final game on Saturday night involving Brentford again. This time they're away from home in a West London derby, and they're taking on Fulham, and I'm going with Fulham to win that game by 2-1. That game kicking off at 8 PM at BST, with the game being broadcast live on Sky Sports. Again, another 8 PM West London derby, same as last week with Brentford against Chelsea. This time Fulham taking on Brentford. And then on to the 3 games on Sunday 21st of September 2025. 2025. Starting off on the south coast. Bit unfair this for the Newcastle fans, having to travel all the way down to AFC Bournemouth at 2 p.m. on a Sunday. But here we are. I'm going with a Bournemouth 2-1 win against Newcastle. Home advantage. Bournemouth I've been impressed with, so going with them to win by 2-1. That game being broadcast live on Sky Sports and kicks off at 2 p.m. at BST. And then we're heading back up to the northeast. This time we've got Sunderland taking on Aston Villa. This game also kicking off at 2 p.m. BST, with the game being broadcast live on Sky Sports. Weren't sure on how to call this one. Didn't think there was going to be a score draw here. I am going for a draw, but not a score draw, and I'm going with a 0-0. We've got a heck of a lot of draws because I'm just not sure on which way to call it. And if I don't know which way to call it, I play it safe and I go with a draw. Normally I go with a 1-1. Sometimes I chuck out a 2-2, and this time chucking out a 0-0. And trust me when I say this, 0-0s are very hard to predict. And then the final game taking place in North London, you've got Arsenal taking on Manchester City, arguably game of the weekend. That game taking place prime time, 4:30 p.m. BST, with the game being broadcast live on Sky Sports here in the UK. Manchester City beat Manchester United last week under pressure after losing consecutive games against Tottenham Hotspur at home and Brighton and Hove Albion away. Arsenal looking to try and keep on the tails of Liverpool, which means for me Arsenal need to win this game. They're the home team. They're the team that are under pressure. They've got to deliver. It was a game that Arsenal delivered and then some against Manchester City last season, and they've got to do the same here this season at the Emirates Stadium. A loss here for Arsenal could well send them 6 points behind Liverpool at an early stage and giving Liverpool any kind of advantage, even though Liverpool are winning by a narrow margin and maybe not playing to the very best of their ability. They're doing enough to grind out and see out games and pick up the all-important 3 points. So already at an early stage, we're looking here at the finest of margins, and this is a very big game between two teams that you would expect to be competing for a Premier League. Some may suggest a Premier League title decider. I have my doubts about Arsenal. Man City still transitioning, so I have some doubts there still about City as to whether they are going to win the Premier League or not. I feel like we are at there too early to tell, but this is the kind of game that gives you a good impression and a good idea about just where are both of these sides up to. And with Arsenal being the home team, I think Arsenal are under more pressure here than Man City. Arsenal have got to deliver. Question is, can Manchester City compete with the physicality of Arsenal? Can they work and make sure they're dealing with the Arsenal set pieces, for example? Can they deal with the aggression coming through in midfield? And can they deal with the high press? Because Arsenal are a very energetic team. They're a team full of quality, and probably most importantly, they're a team full of desire. They want to basically prove a point to Manchester City to showcase that they can beat them, that they are capable of competing for the Premier League. So there has to be a point to prove. Whereas, we saw this last season, so it's up to Man City now to respond and showcase, can they go to the Emirates Stadium? Can they take points off Arsenal? Can they go to North London and beat Arsenal and showcase that actually they're serious about winning the Premier League? So here what we're looking at is a very, very interesting game. I don't know really which way to call it. I think this is going to be a game that's decided upon the finest of margins. It's going to come down to ultimately, because both sides are going to have chances, who's going to put their chances away. I'm going with Arsenal to make home advantage count, so I'm going 3-1 Arsenal. Even though I'm a City fan, I'm going 3-1 Arsenal because I do think that Man City are a little bit away from where they want to be. I was more impressed with what I saw last week against Manchester United for City's game, but I still have some doubts coming in from the Spurs game and from the Brighton game, and I think if City end up playing anywhere close to the level that they were playing against Spurs or against Brighton, Arsenal will be too strong and Arsenal will beat City. So this is a real big game for both sides. Anything could happen. City could win the game 3-1. They're more than capable of doing it. This is the level of consistency that we're looking at. This is a game that Man City really struggled in last season. It's a game that Man City lost. They got absolutely battered at the Emirates Stadium. So can Arsenal find that motivation and send that gauntlet out to Man City and to Liverpool as well? I think they're going to be under pressure from that Merseyside derby because I can't see Everton doing anything at Anfield. We'll see what does happen. As I said, I'm going 3-1 Arsenal. I'm hoping that I'm going to jinx it by saying I think Arsenal are going to win. I don't want to sit here and say I think Man City are going to win and then Man City end up getting annihilated. I genuinely do think probably one of, if not the most difficult away day that we've got. I'd be surprised if City took points off Arsenal. I'd love for us to take points off them. I'd be surprised though. So I'm going, my head's telling me 3-1 here to Arsenal. My heart's telling me we can go to the Emirates Stadium and beat them, do a 2-0 on them or a 3-1 or something. But yeah, City are a bit inconsistent, and I think City are just a little bit away from where they want to be. And in an ideal world, a top quality team like Arsenal, I'd prefer for this game this early in the season to be at the Etihad, so we could have that home advantage, because they always feel better having that home advantage than being on the road. But you know, Arsenal annihilated us, they battered us last season. I want to see a response. So if we could get a result at the Emirates Stadium in North London, I think that would be a cracking result for City. And as I said before, I think Arsenal going to be under pressure from Liverpool's game against Everton. I think Arsenal, it's a must-win game for them, even at this early stage of the season. Premier League matchday number 5, so Premier League for you. You know, things can change very quickly even at an early stage. We'll see what does happen, but yeah, I'm going 3-1 Arsenal, hoping that I'm going to be wrong. So they have been my Premier League predictions. Do let me know your predictions in the comments below. Also, don't forget as well to leave a thumbs up on today's video, to subscribe if you're new around here. It is free to subscribe. Also, don't forget to go and follow me on my social media links. You can find them in the description, including my X, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorship for any videos or any general business inquiries. And don't forget as well to go and check out today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by SofaScore. I'll see you all again real soon for the next video. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.